Yeah, I'm excited to see this happen. So now we got to go get brick. Hey guys, I said I'd give you an instructional on how to do the brick mosaic. I started it here as an accent, but the client loved it so much she wanted us to do the whole dang path, which is great, but it was a lot of breaking bricks. There's a few things to keep in mind. Here we go. And here we go. These are the materials that you'll need. I chose these mixture of bricks, made sure that they followed the color scheme of this yard, but really you can use any bricks in any color scheme for your property. Instead of trying to break a brick that's on a solid ground, it doesn't really break that easy. So if you have it elevated and have a spot for it to fall, it'll break a lot easier. Important to consider when breaking your bricks is to make sure that you just don't break them all in half. You'll end up with squares and they'll be a very boring mosaic. Step 2, you want to make sure that you have a prepared base. I'm using a class 2 road paste that's been compacted, a few inches of that. Which I have here, the base is the 3/4 and it has a bunch of smaller gravel and fines in between, which compact really, really nice. I want to take out just a little bit of that so I can fill in a layer of sand. And the sand is nice because you can move your bricks around and level them a lot easier. If I'm trying to level these guys here, way easier for me to level them in, use a mallet, so settle a little more. If it's uneven, I can shift some sand in, opposed to me trying to do it on base, which is a lot more solid. Step 3, brick mosaic time, yay! Alright, this is where it gets fun. If you like puzzles, you're going to be good at this. There's a few things to consider, and it's the spacing and leveling. In terms of spacing, I'm keeping my joints about 1/2 inch apart, and I'm just using my finger, which is about 1/2 inch, to space them. And then also keep an eye on not lining up all of your grout lines in straight lines. If they're a little more random, it's going to look better because your eye is going to dance around. In terms of leveling, you want to make sure that the bricks are level to the existing concrete and to each other. You can get it pretty roughly in here because we're going to run through later with a compactor, which will lower them, but you want them very close so that you're not running into higher bricks and making it difficult. If you're working with somebody else, you can accelerate this process and work a lot quicker. However, just note that if you are working with somebody else, keep an eye on each other's work because one person's style of laying out can be vastly different than another person. So just keep an eye on that. Step 4. Filling in the gaps with decomposed granite. So I'm just sweeping in all the decomposed granite in between the joints here. As I do that, if I notice any giant voids, I have my scrap pile of little tiny pieces of brick and I can use those to fill in big gap areas so I don't have those big voids. And you can see like the little nuggets, they kind of move around. The bigger ones won't move so much. This is also a great time for me to notice any that are high, and I can still shuffle them around a little bit. Like if I ran my hand here, you can see that would catch. And then drop that nose down just a little bit. If you have one that's low, you can just kind of take it and move it around. The sand or the decomposed granite will naturally fall underneath it and raise it up a little. So now because this decomposed granite is very loose, it's going to settle over time. So to try and encourage it to settle sooner, I'm going to hose it down and that's going to help the decomposed granite settle a little bit. This is called screeding. He's basically leveling off the decomposed granite. It's ideal to have a little bit extra because you're using that 2x4 to pull across it and pull the excess off. If you don't have enough, you'll have lower spots. Step 5, compact it. So we want to use machinery to compact the bricks. Basically, it's a vibrating plate that runs it over and it basically knocks them into place, making them nice and secure. While we do that, we'll see where there's voids in the decomposed granite, and then I can go ahead and backfill some of that. And here we go. It was a lot of work to break all these bricks and place them by hand, but I think it gives this yard a sense of character that you wouldn't have otherwise. It gives it that handmade touch with all the different colors that pull in from the different parts of the yard. I would say, screw the yellow brick road, and here comes our rainbow brick road. From the premier editing studios of Sarita Landscapes, I'm Sara Bendrick. Thank you for watching.